Well, hey there, how are you? So today I want to have a conversation about dreams. I got into a conversation recently with my wife, who has started her career as a librarian this year, working through some of the stresses of getting started in a new industry, working in an elementary school, and frustrations that manifested themselves within her dreams. Now, I have always been fascinated by the idea of dream science. And since long before Sigmund Freud published The Interpretation of Dreams in 1900, leading right up to today, where advances in neuroscience and psychology are really digging in to figure out, what do our dreams mean? What's the purpose? And what can we learn from the imagery that is presented by our subconscious when we're asleep? So this conversation about my wife's work dreams, as well as a broader conversation I have with a couple of other folks, made me realize that a lot of people have dreams that they just don't understand. They don't know the reasoning behind why they have disturbing or confusing dreams. So I decided it would be a good opportunity to dust off a series from way back on the channel that I called The Advice Column. So I reached out to the community to see if anybody's had recent dreams that they found either disturbing or confusing, and they really didn't understand why they had this dream and what it was about. And I want to try to offer whatever perspective I can based on what I know to help maybe explain the reasons behind these weird dreams. Let me start with what I think I know about dreams. I did quite a lot of reading about it years back as I would work through my own unusual dreams or repetitive dreams that I'd had my whole life. So here's what I figured out so far. Dreams, of course, can both be positive and negative, and they serve different purposes. When you have a good dream, ultimately, your subconscious mind is manifesting your desires. It's giving you an opportunity to live a fantasy. In contrast, we can have kind of disturbing dreams. Call it a nightmare, call it just confusing and disturbing. These negative dreams tend to be your subconscious mind testing your reactions, throwing different negative situations at you to see how you're going to respond. More often, however, your negative dreams and nightmares are your subconscious mind helping you work through some type of stressful situation that you've had in the real world. So, two members of the community spoke up and offered their examples of recent dreams that they've had that they didn't understand. I'm going to start with a young lady by the name of Nael. She is from the channel Crazy Drivers, and the link is in the description below if you want to check her out and take a look at what she does. Got a lot of interesting videos. Nael writes this: I've had this nightmare since I was a teenager. I dream that I'm losing my teeth. It's not always the same dream, but it's the same results. Sometimes I dream that they become dust in my mouth and that I have to keep on spitting out paste to be able to breathe. Sometimes they just fall. Sometimes they burn afterwards. More often, it's just one canine that starts to move and then falls, and I wake up shaking. Well, Nael, I can see where that's a pretty disturbing dream. And believe it or not, dreams about teeth falling out are fairly common. Dreams about losing teeth are most often associated with anxiety, and specifically anxiety around communication. It can be a number of things that are bringing these images to your dreams. It could be that you are struggling to find a way to say something. That could be something that you feel you need to say to someone else, or could even be something that you don't want to admit to yourself. Sometimes the dream about losing teeth can represent anxiety that you have about someone else's perception of you. There may be something that you've recently changed. It can be something as simple as you changed a hairstyle or started dressing a different way. The dream could represent that you feel a little bit insecure about something, and you worry that if someone mentions it or questions you, you won't know how to respond. You won't be able to communicate clearly back to them. The loss of teeth represents that you fear you may not be able to handle it and clearly communicate. I don't know how close I am. I could be way off the mark. I hope that is helpful, and if you happen to see this, I would love to hear your thoughts. Next example comes from a young woman named Mercy from Desdemona Productions. Again, her channel will be below. Go have a look for yourself. Mercy writes, I keep having this dream where I'm going to my grandparents' house. My grandfather, he passed in 2005, is sitting on his porch, but he's in black and white, like an old photograph, and the rest of the world is in normal color. He keeps telling me that he has the answer, but every time I get to where he's about to tell me the answer, the dream flickers, and I'm in my sophomore year in high school. I'm at my locker, and the people who used to cause problems are behind me. They're whispering rumors about me while I walk the halls, except one difference is the person who used to steal my stuff and start rumors was actually trying to help me deal with the others that were causing the problems. But then I get a phone call from my grandpa saying he needs to talk. I go back, and it's the same thing again. He's black and white on the porch. The world is color. Right before he tells me the answer, I'm flicked back to current day. I'm working, focused on my goals and what I'd like to accomplish, slowly checking off milestones. Grandpa calls. The scene repeats. I'm then in this weird scene where it's a moonlit night. It's right above the sea or a mountain, and on top of the mountain is a castle. I'm walking through it. I'm following music. I find a room lit with candles and a girl playing piano. She turns to look, and it's me. I'm looking at me. The me at the piano says, "Oh, welcome. You're finally home." And then I wake up. Well, Mercy, you provided a lot of detail here, which really helps paint the broader picture of what could be going on. Clearly, you placed a lot of value on your grandfather's viewpoint. I think the bigger picture here might have to do with your identity as a young adult. It could be that within your subconscious, you believe that your grandfather was the only person that could help you sort out your own feelings about your identity. But sadly, he's out of reach. The imagery around your high school experiences could represent any lingering anxiety that you might have from those years and how other kids perceived you. What's really interesting is the image of the person who was causing you the most problems now becoming an ally. And you hope that this person would be a resource and an ally to resolving things that might have gone on in high school. But going back to the main point of this dream, I do think it's possible that you might be wrestling with your identity at this point in your life. The version of you at the piano could represent some idyllic version of yourself that maybe your subconscious mind thinks you should aspire to. However, this repetition of trying to seek out your grandfather and going through the hassle and ridicule of high school shows that you're wrestling with a lot of uncertainty around that issue. Again, I'm just kind of going off of what I understand certain pieces of dream representations to mean. I certainly have no idea if I'm even anywhere in the right ballpark here. But I hope that in either of these cases, both for Nael and for Mercy, that maybe there's some insight in there and some direction for you to think in. And if you have these dreams again, maybe this will offer you a little bit of insight into what might be going on. I really am fascinated by this concept of dream interpretation and how your subconscious mind, your psychology, events in your life, the world in general can inform these mental images that take place while we're sleeping. There are much broader themes to this subject as well, everything from lucid dreaming to possible phenomena such as deja vu, or into weird studies of pseudosciences like premonitions. But we don't have time for all that today. For now, I'm going to leave it here and ask you guys what you think. Have you had any weird dreams? And have you ever thought to seek out advice or explanation of what those dreams could mean? If you think that I might be able to offer you some advice on how to deal with a situation that you have going on, there's a link in the description below to my subreddit, which is the advice column. If you like this type of conversation and you think I did a good job, give the video a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel and you want to see more, of course, please, I invite you to subscribe and come along for more of these conversations. If you didn't catch my last video that offered a tip on how to deal with stressful situations at work, you can check it out right here. If you want something completely different, take a look at my ABC Conversation Challenge right here. I appreciate you taking a couple of minutes out of your day to hang out with me. As always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the road.